My sister must have figured out that her lifestyle wasn't healthy, so she stopped dating a bunch of men. Delete all those apps and met Sam. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, gonna go over a story titled, Am I the A-hole for agreeing with her ex and not my sister? And big shout out to Joseph for sending me this story. And guys, this story is a great example, and both a great example and entertaining example, what happens to former carousel rider and party girls when their past catches up with them. This story is about a gal who literally was the village bicycle, who every dude in town, high school, all that, and eventually wants to settle down, finds a good guy that's successful, does well for himself, good-looking, charming, the ideal husband, and then one day, and I'm not going to say how, you'll find out in real time, he finds out about her past, which she conveniently didn't mention, and he is gone like that. And she's having a meltdown, this whole thing. And this story is being told by the younger sister of this gal that I'm talking about. And the younger sister here has her whole perspective on this. And the younger sister, as you're going to see, agrees with him. She can understand where the guy's coming from because he had no idea what he was getting into. And of course, this young gal telling the story is getting so much hate. It's unbelievable. And I thought it'd be a very good one to cover, guys, just to show you again what happens to these types that are the carousel riders, and what happens when they decide to hide their past from their guy, because there's a lot of good guys out there that they get to their mid-20s, late 20s or so, 30s, and they meet a gal they're ready to settle down with. They think they got the great one, and then they find out all this stuff about that she deliberately hid from them. And either they find out when it's too late, when they already have a ring on her finger, and that's that, or they're about to get married, and they're like, not happening here. And she lied. And I want to protect guys from that, okay? Because you deserve to know. Just the way she deserved to know things about your past. And how there is accountability for your actions. And at the end of this story, guys, like I said, there is a whole lot of hate this girl's going to get from the comment section. Hate from all these women out there that are hating on her for not backing her sister. Even though her sister brought this on herself. And I'm going to get more into that at the end of this story here. Because stick around, because it's very entertaining. So it starts off, she says, as a kid, I always looked up to my older sister because she was so cool, pretty, and the popular girl. Well, popular with who? I always tried to be like her, dress like her, listen to her music. You get the idea. I was popular for the first time I stepped through the high school door because I was basically a copy of her. I was overwhelmed by the attention, but quickly found out she was mostly popular with only the guys that she dated. She dated many of the guys in our high school, and they thought I would too. I was so embarrassed. I had her mom take me out to buy new clothes and everything. Whatever she did, I went the opposite way. She wore tons of makeup, I wore none. She listened to a certain type of music, I didn't. We went different colleges. So, I idealized her sister, all that, but then high school comes along. Oh, this is why you're so popular. And with the guys. And notice she said they pretty much thought that she could get with her too. I knew a couple sisters like this in high school. One girl that was in my class, and she had a younger sister 2 years younger than me that was in my sister's class. And let's just say the reputation was quite accurate. And the younger sister was better looking than the older sister. Fast forward to now. Sister must have figured out that her lifestyle wasn't healthy, so she stopped dating a bunch of men. Delete all those dating apps and met Sam. He's a very good man, good looking, with great personality and amazing job. He was smart, funny, outgoing, and can own the entire room when he walks in. He grew up in a different city, so his family doesn't live here, but we've met and they're just amazing like him. Sam quickly replaced us as my mom's favorite child and became our dad's best friend. He eventually proposed and everyone was over the moon. I was very happy for my sister. So notice, I'm going to go back and go over this because this is important what she said here. My sister must have figured out that her lifestyle wasn't healthy, so she stopped dating a bunch of men. Translation, got to a point in her life where it's like, okay, The big 3-0's coming up where I'm getting older. I can't keep doing this carousel thing anymore because guess what? The guys that I really want aren't going to get with me. And I'm getting older. And all my girlfriends are getting married. So I got to put a ring on my finger. I don't want to be that girl forever. So I'm going to just stop doing all that and put my past behind me and find a guy. Find a good man. And that's what she does. The problem is, good man doesn't have any idea what her past activities were like. And he has every right. Every man or woman going into a marriage, it's their right to know about their guy or gal's past on all fronts. And that's what I think. If this was a girl, if this was about a dude that lied to his gal and she took off on him, I'd have no problem with it either. But this situation is quite common. It goes on. Last week, she came to my door looking like a complete wreck. She was crying so hard she couldn't talk. After an hour or so, I calmed her down enough to get the whole story. Apparently, they were at a party, and there was mingling separately when he overheard some guys talking about her popularity. Sam joined the group and got her dating history. 2 of the guys in that group dated her, and she keeps saying dated, which we know really isn't traditional dating. And about 4 other guys at the party did too, one of whom works with him, which is why they were there. He heard about the guys laughing about how they all the men in town were depressed when she went away to college, but rejoiced when she came back. When they got home, he asked her, she told him the truth, and he left without saying a word. So, imagine that, guys. You go to a party, you're with your girl, more importantly, your fiance, who you're going to marry in a short period of time. You think everything's great, and you find out that all these different dudes there hooked up with her. And not just that, and not like they were just like ex-boyfriends, like real actual boyfriends, relationship, just hookups. And literally, she was the most popular girl in town for a reason. That wouldn't sit very well if you thought of her in one way and she presented herself in one way. So you can't blame this dude for being upset, and you can't blame this guy for walking. But today's world, he's the villain because he is insecure for doing that, as some would say. And she should be empowered enough to be able to do whatever she wants, and it's in the past and all that. That's the mindset. Well, I'll get more into that in a second. I help my sister, and she's been staying with me for now. She hasn't told anyone and has been trying to get in touch with Sam and his family, but they're all ignoring her. Everyone on our side is super confused because Sam just disappeared. Our cousin, my best friend, pinned me down the other day to ask what happened. I told her, and she was appalled. She called him all sorts of names and insecure. It's amazing. Nobody wants to hear somebody's side of the story. They're immediately going to bombard somebody with negative names and the old insecure. But I'll come back to that. I said, I can understand from his view as we live in a small town and it's hard to know many men and your coworkers know your future wife. And she says, know your future wife. Then my cousin and I got into it. She said I should be supporting my sister no matter what. I argued I'm supporting her, but supporting doesn't mean I have to agree with her. Now I might lose my best friend. As a note, we're all in our 30s, graduate college, and living on our own. So that's where her part of the story ends, and we're going to begin with the comment section. So in this whole thing, the sister, the way she wrote this, the way I take it, is she's being very objective here. She learned early on why her sister was so popular, and that wasn't for her. She wanted to be like that. And so she went the opposite way. Sounds to me like she still loves her sister, but she recognizes, hey sis, you messed up. You can't blame him for just being blindsided by all this information that you didn't provide to him. And now her cousin is making her out to being the bad guy because you should support her no matter what. But you can love and support somebody, but say, look, you effed up. But that's not how it is. And now we're about to get into the comment section where it is an entire shitstorm of comments of hate towards her from gals all over the world because saying that she's the a-hole because she's not supporting her sister and that her past shouldn't matter and all these other things. And I'm going to address this right now. The past does matter, and for multiple reasons for the perspective of the guy. In no particular order, number one, there's the study called pair bonding. Scientific studies have been done to show that gals, after they have so much relations with dudes, they just simply just cannot connect on that level, and there's going to be a lot of problems. Okay, so that's totally understandable. 2, no guy wants to go into a marriage with a gal unless maybe he's into the PORN lifestyle. He does that kind of work for a living, that is hooked up with endless amounts of dudes, let alone knowing dudes that hooked up with her. Okay, no guy wants that, and he has every right to say, you know what, that's not what I signed up for. I don't want that. End of story. It doesn't make him insecure. Doesn't make him sexist, misogynistic, any of that crap. He has that choice. Just as a woman has a choice to reject a guy if she finds out things about his past, even if it's in his past, that she doesn't want to be a part of. End of story. And there's also STDs and all that. And a lot of women say it shouldn't matter. Well, let's remember something here. With men and women, it is different. I'm sure all you guys remember, looking back like high school or college, I'm sure you all remember that one guy that every girl wanted. Every high school had that guy. I know that guy from my high school. He was a cool dude. He was that way in junior high. He was that way in high school. He had girls throwing themselves at him. He was this smooth Italian guy, played football, but he wasn't a jerk at all. He was a very good guy. Not that intelligent, but not really dumb, but not super intelligent. And the dude made he made good-looking guys look ugly. And he just had this way. And they threw themselves at him. And they all knew, the girls all knew, that he hooked up with all these girls or had short-term relationships, 6 months here, 3 months there. They didn't care because they wanted a piece of him too. It was a status thing. So they didn't care about his body count. And therefore, the mentality is that guys should be the same way. Doesn't work that way. We don't want the gal that every dude is hooked up with. That's a turnoff, okay? That is like, oh, Jesus. That's not a status thing for us. For us, it's a great thing to she has low body count. That's the big difference, but the gals can't understand that. And therefore, then we're labeled as insecure and all these nasty things because we can't get past her past. Okay, that's bullshit. And there's a point when a guy gets involved with a gal like that, and it's going to be thinking, all those guys always wanted that attention. How long until she's cheating on me or whatever? Really, it's a fair point. And at the end of the day, he has every right to make the decision he wants to make. End of story. And again, if a gal found out something about her guy in his past, whatever that may be, and said, nope, you were great to me, but you know what? You didn't tell me these things. I was prepared. It's not going to work. She has every right to as well. And again, this girl in the story didn't tell this guy this. That being said, because I got to say my piece here, now let's have some comments. This first one is from a woman. She says, "You're the a-hole. OP," the girl posting the story, "has a crush on Sam. She is trying to justify pursuing him by trying to convince everyone that her sister had it coming because of her archaic and misogynistic views on sexuality." You all heard this story. I don't hear anything that convinces me that she has the hots for this guy. She's just happy for her sister found a good man and part of the family and all that. End of story. But of course, this woman wants to trash her. And by the way, let's quick question: why are so many gals going to be hating on her? Number one, because a lot of them probably have done what her sister's done and hid it and don't want to be shamed and therefore are coming after her. Two, a lot of them that may haven't done this see that as an attack on women's freedom and empowerment and want to come after and therefore hating on her for that, amongst many other things. Therefore, it's easy to insult her and say, oh, you're just in love with him or something like that. This girl writing the story is very practical and saying you can't blame the guy here. Next one, this is someone that's agreeing with her. This guy says, "Not the a-hole. Controversial opinion, but I would hate to be in the room and find out that my fiance slept with half the people in the room. I would feel lied to because a lie in omission is still a lie. If he had told me his S-word history prior then, I could have been prepared for what may happen and what people may say. Y'all ever watch Gilmore Girls where Rory gets upset when she finds out that when she was stuck in a room where all the girls had a fling with her boyfriend and she was like, you could at least warn me." That was from a woman. Next one, this is from another woman who is against this girl. She says, "Wow, this amazing man is such a great guy, despite being weak, cruel, and misogynistic. Sounds like you're jealous of your sister as well. What a shame for her that her own sister doesn't have her back and is still more impressed by her ex than clear-eyed about what a pathetic creep he is. Maybe you two should try to get together and help you work out that jealousy and finally feel the superiority you've always wanted. You're the a-hole. Again, I don't see anything in here that's showing that the girl's like in love with this girl's fiance at all. She just thinks he's a great guy and happy for her sister. And what she's saying here, she's labeling the guy as weak, cruel, misogynistic and a pathetic creep because he walked away after finding out about her past and she lied to him. That makes him cruel. That makes him weak. That makes him a creep. You gotta be shitting me. Because I guarantee if this story was told by a guy and, if a woman found out something about the guy's past and she walked, none of these girls have a problem with this. The double standard is amazing to me. Another one says, I disagree. She can enjoy the SCX all she likes. That's up to her. But it sounds like she went around and slept with half her high school. If you had no idea that this ever happened and your partner, the person you're going to marry, doesn't tell you, and you find out randomly by coincidence that your partner slept with those 5 guys standing in front of you, you're going to be taken aback. Exactly. Now maybe he just needs time to process. Maybe this is the end of the line. But, embarrassed about it or not, I feel like this is something you should tell your partner, regardless of how long ago it was, not the a-hole. Thank you. And by the way, you can see I'm jumping back and forth between these gals having a hissy fit and insulting her to people actually more level-headed and seeing both sides. But the thing is, in the comments section is overwhelming of all the gals bombarding this girl with insults. But I am with the girl that posted this story. She is not the a-hole. She's looking at it objectively. Another one. This is from a hater. It says, hard, you're the a-hole. You sound pretty smug and judgmental. That was her past. Sister isn't like that now. She met a great guy who apparently judging her past. In my humble opinion, he wasn't the right one for her anyway if he's like that. Is he untouched? I agree with your friend. You should be supporting your sister. ETA, we are being asked to judge the OP, not Sam. Hard, you're the a-hole is for the OP. We don't know Sam's side of the story. I don't know why he did what he did. We are missing information. All I said was that he was the right one for her if he is like that. Oh, it sounds like that girl was responding to her. Smug means highly satisfied. I thought that the OP sounded smug in comparing her life choices to her sister's. Sam does look bad for leaving without a word and then apparently ghosting older sister. So why the silent treatment? This is his fiance, not his second date. Well, I've told you guys what happens when guys just walk away on women and ignore them. It makes them freaking crazy. Whenever you relationship guys, girls starts a bunch of unnecessary drama, starts a fight, and isn't willing to communicate like an adult, and you just walk away, or you don't give her that fight and argument that she's dying for, makes them crazy. Another one says here, I'm not judging, but I personally wouldn't want to be in a long-term relationship with someone who's had a very numerous purely physical relationships. Guy or girl, doesn't matter. However, it's true that society obviously shames women more. I personally don't hold value in purely physical relationships, just not for me and never has been. I don't think it's unfair to want to be with someone who has had the same viewpoint. If Sam felt this strongly, he should have asked up front and then they both decide from where. Perhaps he did, who knows. People are allowed to make decisions on who they want to be with. Yes, exactly. And here's the question. Let's just say for argument's sake he did ask her about her past. Do you really think those that have quite the high number count is actually going to be truthful about everything? Because you know the old joke, whatever number they give you, the gals multiply it by 3. Whatever number the guy gives you, divide it by 3, because he's lying about the high number he's saying, and she's lying about the number she's saying, because it's obviously way higher. He has every right to know, and everybody, I don't care who it is, has the right to decide who they want to be with, and they find something out they don't like, they have every right to walk. At least he found this out before he put a ring on her finger, or at least the wedding ring. And another one says here, these people sound like they're riddled with copium about their prior choices in life. Nobody wants to be with someone who's dated the entire town and not even told you what else important haven't they told you. Will their past history stay in the past, or is it a good predictor of their future in a committed relationship? I don't know. I think a lot of these people in the comments aren't being realistic with how people actually think and judge how trustworthy someone is who you could be spending the rest of your life with, not the a-hole. Exactly. Now let's remember who are the ones that are commenting in the comment section. Because you see, I gave you a mixture, guys, of comments, agreeing and disagreeing. Overwhelmingly, it's people insulting her and saying that she's the a-hole and he's the a-hole and he's insecure and weak and all that ridiculous nonsense. But at the end of the day, who's the demographic that goes on Reddit? Usually younger people. Who is going to be drawn to an article like that? Generally younger people and women. And who's going to be getting the most riled up about that? Probably those that might see themselves in the situation like the older sister and therefore are hating on anybody that dare question her past, question her choices, and support the guy. That guy had every right to do what he did. End of story. Now, at this point, as funny as it is, they walked away and ignored her. Say what he has to say. Okay, you know what? It's not going to work. You're not who you thought you were. You weren't honest with me. Done. Okay, fair enough. But beyond that, he has every right. But this is the mentality, the mindset out there that as things are. So, I guess the important lesson of the story is people need to be aware that they make choices in life. And those choices, once you do them, that's on you. And if down the road it comes back to bite you in the ass, whatever that may be, you have to accept responsibility for your actions. You can't just say, it was in the past. If a man was a substance dealer when he was younger and had a criminal past and married a girl, didn't tell her, and next thing you know, the freaking police or the FBI are showing up to arrest him, that's a problem. And she has every right to know about his past, amongst many other things that guy may have done, and also with a guy with what a girl did. You get my point. So, not the a-hole in my opinion, and I wish everyone the best. Alright guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below and know what you think about this. Is she the a-hole or not the a-hole here? I'd like to hear your opinion on that. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.